All right, ARCA at Irwindale. So these are my settings. My standard settings, except I do 14:1 because it's a short track. Sometimes I do 16:1 short track, sometimes I do 12. It's all about comfort based. I do 60% brake bias here. Could even lower it if I really wanted to. If you feel like your rear is not stable under braking, raise that up to like 65, 68. You're gonna lose a little bit of performance, rotation in the car, but it's worth it if that's what you need for stability, because it's a little tough sometimes to have that minimum brake bias at a place like this, even if it is optimal. So I'm going to be going for late apexes here, early braking, try to trail the braking off as we go throughout the corner, and then get the car pointed down low. Pretty good. Should be a second lap, hot lap here. A little bit of looseness. Want to start out a little bit wider, early braking, get the car pointed down, and then go. I like that. Missed the wideness a little bit, so we're just going to keep it down here. Let it slide up a bit, and then come off the corner like this. A little bit of an alternate line. Kind of, that one was like a Darlington 1 and 2 instead of an IRP late apex. But they all work out kind of the same. It's all about how you can set up your corner. And I'll show you why I did what I did for that particular lap, because it kind of shows the best of both worlds, right? There's a lot of ways that you can approach that top groove. And some are faster than others, and some are more consistent than others, and some wear different tires than others. So for turn 1 here, actually I'm going to turn this down a little bit. So turn 1, I'm going to stay as wide as I can, but still try to get a little bit of nose point. See how so let's say that this is kind of like my car straight. As I'm entering the corner, I make sure to still get my nose pointed, even if I want to stay outside for a little bit. So braking at that 25%, 20 to 25%. And then I'm trying to stay at the wall and then just trying to hold my groove. I don't want to be sliding up. If I'm going to start up high, I don't want to be sliding up. I want to be staying neutral with my line. And then I just hold that 10-ish% brake until the car starts turning down. And the moment the car starts turning down is when I pick up that throttle to half. So you see how my steering wheel is still completely turned when I pick up the throttle? If you pick up full throttle when you do that, you're going to spin out. So you got to pick up your throttle only to half if your wheel is still turned when you pick up the throttle. And if you're trying to get every millisecond out of your time, that's what you should be doing. And then the moment that I can open up my wheel for exit, that's when I go full. You see that? So fully turned, only half throttle. Unload the wheel, full throttle. And then 3 and 4. So I wanted to set up again wide for this corner, but it didn't work out that way just because of the way that this straightaway is. The wall is like kind of, it bumps you all around and you can hit the wall and drag your quarter on it. So I started turning off of the wall a little bit earlier than I probably should have, but that's okay because that just sets us up for another way that we can approach the corner. So right here, instead of starting out up top, I'm now starting out at the bottom and letting the car slide up. So just like a Darlington 1 and 2. And this is pretty much as fast. I personally think that the late apex is a little bit faster, but it gives you multiple options how to approach the corner so that you don't have to force it one way or another. So again, not trying to go over that 25% brake on entry. As we start turning the wheel more, we trail the brake into 10%, and then we let the car start to slide up. And then right as the car starts turning off the wall is when we pick up the gas. So I use my steering wheel a little bit to induce this turn. That's going to be wearing your tires, so don't think about doing that for the race too much. But for qualifying, it's fine. So I induce the rotation off the wall, and the moment I get that rotation off the wall, I pick up the throttle to full because I know that once I get that rotation, I can just straight shot it off the corner and then just start to unload my wheel. So again, only reason I can go full so early here is because I'm unloading my wheel, and it still gets loose because it's not completely straight, but I can take that risk and add that little bit of difficulty to myself on a hot lap. For race run, I like the late apex a lot more because it's more consistent, it wears less right front tire, but the caveat is that your corner entries have to be completely consistent. They have to completely be, you can't overdrive your corner entry no matter what. So I just like entering by the wall, holding the brake till it turns down, and then throttle. And you notice it's a pretty competitive lap time. See 3 and 4 here. It gets a little loose. There's some bumps there. But wherever you end up, you just hold the throttle till you rotate. Or sorry, hold the brake till you rotate. So I don't want to be sliding up at all. Some crazy bumps. But as long as you get your car pointed where you want it to go, and you don't have to adjust much mid-corner, it's going to be okay. You can let the car slide up if you need to, but if the car starts sliding up, force that rotation not with your steering wheel, but with your brake. Just hold your brake until it rotates. Don't add brake. Hold it and add duration. Because if you start adding more brake, like let's say add a ton of brake right here, that's just going to cause the car to actually push even tighter because we're not getting the weight shift out of it. It's putting everything on the right front. But if we hold that trail brake for long enough, it will induce the weight shift and we'll be able to get the rotation. So it's kind of counterintuitive. The less brake you use, the more you're going to rotate. Ooh, see how I got super loose there? That was a combination of hitting the bumps and also hitting the rotation. Now watch me use a ton of brake right here. See how the car doesn't really turn until I trail off the brake? Like, I used a ton of brake there. I was as slow as I've ever been, but it's not rotating my car. So we got to be just very diligent. This is why I really like the low brake bias here. You're going to be a lot slower if you don't have that rotation on your brake bias, but sometimes it's just a little bit too challenging to have to hit your marks like that every single corner in a 50, 60, however many laps this race is. You just want to be really patient. Just wait for the car to rotate. It's going to be very easy to throttle up too early, and that's going to start roasting your tires, adding heat to them. You can wear both tires pretty heavy in this track. But we can keep up pretty good times. And the thing about Irwindale is it's super single lane. You can't make passes on the bottom. You're only going to pass people if they make mistakes, really. There's really, like, watch how bad the bottom is. You see how you see how I can't even carry, like, even a fraction of the speed that I can carry on the bottom? Even if I do, like, a big arc towards the bottom. You see how much time I just lose back there? Let's do it again. There has been times where I've seen the bottom of Irwindale somehow come in on like super duper old tires. I don't know if that's going to be the case here though. This ARCA car is a little bit too consistent on short tracks. It's just going to be guard the top line. Oh, it's so easy to do that. So don't worry if you do it. The ARCA car is a tank. That backstretch wall, the way that it's just juts out a little bit, it's going to get you. And it's okay if it gets you. Just make sure that you're ready to respond to it. But yeah. So that's just how I like. Just hold the brake until the car rotates no matter what line you take. Ideally, you're not sliding up like I did in that corner, but sometimes it's just going to happen. Overdriving corner entry is just going to be death for a lot of things, including tires. You see right rear wear right now, but it's going to get on both, so you got to manage both. All right, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope to see you all on the track.